It's Tim Albright with Aviation with the Road to ISE. Integrated Systems Europe 2024 happens the 30th of January through the 2nd of February. And with me to talk about Absen and their stand is Mr. Darren Banks. Welcome, sir.
Hey, welcome. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. And before we get started, not for nothing, and this is not an Absen commercial, but I'm standing in front of an Absen direct view LED display here in the Aviation studio. So thank you so much, sir.
You're very welcome. Great to be talking to you, Tim.
Darren, you guys are in Hall 3 P300, 3P300. Darren, we know Absen. Obviously, we use it here at Aviation. Seen you guys around. We connected with your U.S. group here at the CTI National Sales Meeting. This time around, though, we're going global. We're talking to you at ISE. So this time around, for the Absen stand, what will we find?
Well, the ISE, firstly, is the biggest private trade show for the European region. So there's a lot of focus on that for Absen this year. But really, what people will find on the booth is very much a solution approach this year rather than a product approach. I think in previous years, it's been a lot of LED, different technologies, different pixel pitches, but a lot of it may be out of context. So this year, we're really focusing on applications, and a lot of that will reflect where we think the business will be in 2024 and ultimately beyond. So you will see different zones. Firstly, you will see a simulation zone, which is focusing on high bandwidth LED controllers. And that's probably the most exciting part of the booth for me. It will have a full motion platform racing simulator. And again, we will invite our customers to be part of that experience, to jump in the simulator and experience what a true professional touring car simulator is all about, with a wonderfully big curved Absen LED display in front of that. So very much utilizing LED in the application for advanced visualization and simulation solutions. And then secondly, you will see areas such as a control room space as well. And again, we have a collaboration with DataPath, so we can actually show a turnkey control room solution rather than just showing a narrow pixel pitch LED, which is designed for a control room. So there's a big difference between showing a product and ultimately showing a solution, and that's where the focus will be for this year. And some other zones include what we call the meeting space zone. So that will showcase both 16:9 aspect ratios, but also we've seen a lot of talk about 21:9. So the team are ready to talk to customers about aspect ratios changing, display aspect ratios changing, and so forth there as well. And then for the first time, we're showcasing the outdoor LED 1.9 millimeter pixel pitch at ISE as well. So it'd be great for people to come and have a look at what is called narrow pixel pitch in the outdoor LED world. And then finally, we have a creative and interactive retail zone where people can come and have a look at non-standard shapes, creative mosaic. And again, there'll be an interactive element to that so people can kind of experience next-gen displays in that kind of retail environment. And then finally, the other zone to talk about really is the hands-on area. So this is some of the technologies and specifications that will come out during 2024, where people can come and have a look and a touch and a poke of that new technology. But really, that's what people to expect. A lot of applications, a lot of cooperative alliances with our eco partners to showcase a solution, like I said, like DataPath and other organizations such as that.
Darren, you mentioned simulators, right? And a simulation area of the Absen stand. Not to be silly, but we've seen simulators before, right? We've seen simulation areas before. What makes the Absen simulation experience different?
Well, I think historically simulation has really been done with projection technology. You will find that LED in the simulators is very new. It's emerging as a technology in that space. And again, we're now starting to see quite a lot of the large end user clients, whether that's military, whether it's motorsport, whether it's education, they are now looking to utilize LED as a replacement to traditional or aging projection technology. And a lot of that is around the viewing experience. With LED, you can keep the environment lights on and still have an ultra high contrast and a bright image. Traditionally with projectors, it's normally in a darkened environment, which ultimately to get that reasonable image, you have to reduce the house lights to improve the contrast performance. With LED, you don't have to do that, but also it's a much longer lasting technology. But from a simulated user standpoint, it increases the realism in that simulator as well by having the higher contrast, brighter and better color performance in those simulator environments. And that's what we're now starting to see, people replacing their older simulators in terms of the display element with the latest LED. The other thing, Tim, to mention in this space as well is that historically it's been the controller element of LED that's held it back from operating in high bandwidth applications. But in reality now, due to the boom in XR and virtual production, we now have the high bandwidth LED controllers needed to operate at 120 or 240 hertz in a simulator environment. Historically, we've been limited to 60 hertz or 120 hertz. So now we expect that 2024 and beyond, we see a breakthrough in these 3D virtual reality and simulation applications because the technology is ready. It's ready right now.
All right, Darren, we will find you in Hall 3P 300, but not everybody's going to ISE. So if they're not going and they want to follow along with everything that Absen will be talking about that week, how do they do that?
Yeah, well, the usual ways really. Keep an eye on the Absen socials, speak to the local Absen sales team or distribution partners, and again, keep an eye out for the campaigns that will follow in the days and weeks following ISE.
All right, very good. Darren Banks from Absen. We'll see him over at ISE. For us, for Aviation, go by our website, aviation.tv. That's aviation.tv, and follow along as we also head to Barcelona for ISE 2024, the 30th of January through the 2nd of February. All that and more at aviation.tv. That's aviation.tv.